Hi, I'm Rebecca Smondrowski, and I'm running for the Board of Education District 2 because every student deserves a positive school experience, and that means different things to everyone. It's not just about getting A's and B's, but also about differentiated learning, being engaged, feeling safe, valued, and included. We are a county with vast diversity of cultures, interests, and learning styles, and we need to utilize our resources to ensure that all of our schools, staff, and students have what they need to be successful. With the creation of the Evidence of Learning model, we now have the detailed insight to identify how every student in every classroom performs and where they are or are not meeting measures. I will utilize this data to provide programs and opportunities that allow all MCPS students to reach their fullest potential and close gaps. I've spent my time on the board working to ensure that every stakeholder has a voice and that I'm a strong advocate for their needs, and I look forward to continuing that work. How do you think MCPS is doing in handling the COVID-19 crisis? Would you do anything differently? This is a very difficult and broad question. We are in an unprecedented situation, and it's straining the resources of every school district across the country, and it's certainly not anything anyone could have predicted. MCPS has been having to develop a plan as we go along, and like anything new, it takes time, practice, and flexibility to perfect. Time we don't have. Our superintendent and his staff have worked hard to build the plane as we fly, and I give them a lot of credit and appreciation for all that they are doing and have done. Based on feedback from our stakeholders, I think MCPS has done well with dealing with the multitude of complicated aspects that this pandemic has imposed on us. The teachers and staff who have shown such compassion, innovation, and dedication to their students and communities make me so proud to be part of this system. This has been an adjustment for everyone, and I'm grateful for all who have gone so far above and beyond what their normal routines require to make this work. It's been a challenge to incorporate the different schedules of multiple grade levels for equal time with teachers, especially at the secondary level, and really figuring out consistent and equitable work expectations for all of our paid employees. These are new times and most likely the start of new ways of doing things. It is my hope that we can learn from the many challenges that we have faced in the transition to remote instruction and use this experience to improve MCPS's virtual learning overall. I have been and continue to be a strong advocate for increasing the online learning opportunities for our students in an effort to allow schools to have greater access to a variety of course selections than what is feasible to offer in all of our schools. And hopefully we can use this as a guide to make that happen. This experience has also shown us where our greatest needs are so that we can better address the issues that we face, such as limitations on access to technology. The distribution of our Chromebooks has been extremely challenging, but I'm hopeful that this is an opportunity for us to begin the transition into every child having their own device to use throughout the school year, not just in the event of a school closure. MCPS has done a great job opening food distribution sites and providing meals to those in need. They have worked hard to provide professional development for staff and done well with lessons in the My MCPS classroom. Unfortunately, though, having multiple classroom platforms has proven to be very confusing for many students and families. I am pleased with the amount of communication sent out. However, I would like to have seen some of these messages be much more succinct and detailed with what was coming as opposed to so much of what we have done, so people don't feel like they are being, that decisions are being made or that they are getting information too late. I would also like to have seen more direct and personal contact using mediums like phone calls and text messaging. The fact is, though, this is a learning process. We are all in this together, and I've appreciated hearing from our stakeholders to help us improve on this work going forward. The County Board of Education has focused on changing school boundaries as a tool to address the achievement gap. Do you agree with that approach? Why or why not? Our data shows us that MCPS does not have the same social integration impacts that many other school districts across the country do. Our schools are and should be the hub of our communities, and we need to continue to maximize walkers. As a Board of Education, it is our responsibility to ensure that every school has what it needs to provide a positive school environment and rigorous learning opportunities so that each and every one of our schools is one that every family would be proud to send their children to. We have schools with high amounts of poverty that outperform schools with lower socioeconomic rates, and for many of our families, especially our higher poverty families, proximity is critical. You cannot feel part of something that you can't easily access. I'm hopeful that this pandemic gives us an opportunity to reevaluate how we use our resources and give us opportunities to do better for every child going forward. Closing the achievement gap is going to come from providing access and opportunities to all students in order for them to chart their pathways to the future, and then ensuring that they have the supports that they need to be successful. It comes from strong leadership in a building and staff that make the imperative connections that children need in order to feel that they are a part of something that matters. Connecting with our families and understanding their stories is critical for us to be able to respond to the diversity of needs in each of our schools and our communities. Many students and teachers say they don't feel schools are a safe environment because of behavior issues such as bullying, lack of accountability for maintaining discipline, sexual assaults, and drug use. What do you believe are the root causes of these problems, and what would you do to address them? Well, safety is a top priority for me. Proactively building relationships with students is the most impactful method in allowing students to feel safe and connected. If someone is feeling unsafe, it is extremely difficult to optimize performance, and those who are harming others, whether it's physically or emotionally, need to be held accountable. We need to address ways of rewarding positive changes in the buildings, as opposed to instilling a fear of personal harm with reporting. We can't fix problems that we don't know about, and if people have concerns that they feel aren't being addressed at their school, they need to come to us. Each and every one of us has to be accountable for listening to the concerns of our students, parents, and staff, and then continue to follow through on taking action to make positive changes. We can have strong policies, but if they aren't implemented, we will never correct the problems, and it's the board's role to hold administration accountable. In addition to options of a punitive nature, students who commit offenses should also engage in restorative justice practices so the chances of them repeating their behaviors decrease. Climate surveys are important, but more importantly than gathering feedback from our schools is what we do with that knowledge. Surveys should be occurring at the local school level as well as central services so all stakeholders receive feedback. It is unfortunate, but I think that sometimes we perceive complaints or criticism as one person's views. But to address these very real feelings of stakeholders, we need to take action and address the underlying causes of negative perceptions. We all only want what is best for our children. Accountability and follow-up are critical when working on this issue. I will continue to meet with staff, students, and community members to hear their concerns about the school environment, and I will continue to not only bring those issues to the superintendent and his associates, but to also advocate for the changes necessary to improve the learning environment so that everyone feels safe in their schools. I know that this is only a short glimpse of who I am, but please feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions or concerns. I have been and continue to be very proud to represent your voice. Thank you.